There's teams across the NBA that have a good case to be a favorite when it comes down to a finals run, and as the Dallas Mavericks are on a 5-game win streak and are currently putting the pieces together, they are truly a sleeper team in the West. With such special talents on the floor like Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, the sky is truly their limit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a series where we will dive deep into a certain aspect of a team, valuable things certain players bring to a squad, and why a certain team can be a favorite in the playoffs for whoever faces them. So without further ado, let's get into the task force unit in Gotham City, and that is the Dallas Mavericks. Luka said the other day that Kyrie is Batman, and I'm pretty sure if the roles were reversed, Kyrie would call Luka Batman. So obviously there's some great chemistry between the two. But altogether, the Mavs are an amazing unit that have produced some great moments, but hey, which one is your personal favorite? Is it the trades for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford who almost broke Wilt's record? The emergence of a valuable rookie in Derek Lively, Luka's 73-point performance, or Kyrie Irving's ridiculous left-hand buzzer beater to defeat the Denver Nuggets? Regardless of which one you pick, this team has a lot of bright pieces that all benefit one another. The new additions to the team can already work so well off each other, as here you see Lively run the floor, and with the simple pass right down the middle from PJ, Lively can now storm for the emphatic slam. Putting up 8 points a night on 74% shooting from the field, Lively makes for an extra reliable lob threat for the Dallas Mavericks, but trust me, his value extends way beyond just offense. If needed, once you get downhill and make his man rotate over, it's a no-brainer to just throw this up and let him finish off the lob. And then after he's done shaking the rim on one end of the floor, he'll come back down the other end and show your guards not to attack him by punishing the ball off the backboard. His impact on both ends of the floor simply can't be overlooked because he allows his Mavs team to have a release option when driving and also a second line defender who they can depend on. After the shifty Malik Monk burst past the defender towards the rim, he may think he's going to score the bucket, but with that wall of Derek Lively, he's going to get the hand on the ball at the apex and send this back down. You can put your trust in him defensively, and then when you just throw the ball in the air, you can trust him to rise up to go get it and punch it home. See how he can be a problem on both ends of the floor? With him standing at 7'1" with a 7'7" wingspan, he can cause many difficulties for opposing teams on any given night. Since that length is a factor, even though guys might get past him, they're still worried about him trailing the play, so they'll have to throw the ball up high, making it much tougher for them to score the ball. Just to clear his contest, guys will have to place the ball high over the square on the glass, and for most guys in the league, this can be extremely difficult. It's truly problem after problem Lively can cause for the other team's offense, because not only can he affect shots with his blocks or amazing contests, but he can also be a wall in that paint to make it hard for Jokic to get a clean look at the rim. With his rim protection, it'll lead to easy opportunities on the other end for Doncic and other guys to go score. And hey, with his relentless nature inside on both ends, that's when we see Lively give the offense 3 chances to score, and on that last one, it's an and one for Derek after taking a slap on the wrist. Since the All-Star break, the Mavs have a defensive rating of 114, which ranks them as the 6th best defense in the league since this time. And trust me, someone else has been a major help defensively as well, and that's Daniel Gafford. Since joining the Mavericks, Gafford has put up averages of 11 points and 7 rebounds while shooting 77% from the field and maintaining a defensive rating of 107. He did make 33 field goals in a row showcasing his soft touch around the rim, but as we all know, it's all about personnel, so when you're paired with a great passer like Luka Doncic and a guy like Kyrie Irving who can collapse the defense, your buckets tend to be put right on a platter. With Luka commanding the attention of 2 defenders, it forces Laurie to pick between Gafford and PJ Washington in the corner, so now with Luka showing off his magic, he looks at Washington in the corner to throw off Markkanen, and now Gafford can go right up for the bucket. With many guys sitting front row at the Doncic Magic Show, Gafford is still able to find a seat in the back, and Luka will make sure everyone who bought a ticket will be shown some love. Just by being in the right place at the right time, it grants Gafford tons of easy looks in close, but if needed, he can spread the wealth himself and throw this over the top to Derrick Jones Jr. after he gets open off the Luka back screen. Now yes, spreading the wealth is great, catching these lobs is great, and just being another factor on the offensive side is great, but to help the Mavericks in an area where they need it so desperately is the greatest thing they could ask for. Just as Lively makes it hard for guys to score in close, when Fox is funneled into Gafford, he acts as the final boss to beat, and with no real room to maneuver, Fox just gets defeated. A big body like this is going to be key come playoffs because you're going to need guys who can force Jokic into missing terribly, but even more than that, you're going to want someone who can erase shots constantly. Since joining the Mavs, Gafford has averaged 1.8 blocks per game, and yes, I know this won't uphold, but it just shows you how much value he can provide this team on any given night. With many changes made to this team, you can see that it's all starting to click, and for one of the more offensive leaning changes, pushing the pace is helping the Mavs out a lot. Now, this isn't me saying that they're going to be the team to just run it down your throat constantly, as they are ranked 10th with a pace of 100, but indeed they will beat you down the floor if you're sleeping, and now you're left watching PJ slam it home. With Gafford being locked in defensively, he's able to make it tough for Murray to sink this 16-footer, and then with PJ being aware of what's going on, he sends it up the floor with a quickness to find Gafford leaking out, and with that Murray matchup, this is an easy 2 points. It's honestly key to reward your big men who run the floor, and with this dime from Kyrie, Lively is able to stay in stride perfectly for the throwdown. Since their bigs know they'll receive the ball when they run, they'll tend to get up the floor fast, and instead of clashing with the defense, the rookie uses the clean Euro for the slam. This connectivity between one another when pushing the pace leads to them being wide open for a look at the rim, which is key, because me and you both know that not everyone can finish like Kyrie when it comes to making shots over the defense. With 3 defenders closing in on him, with only 1 to beat to the rim, Kyrie serves the Euro, but since Brown is tracking Irving, he decides to go back to his left hand and lay it right in. He can truly get ridiculous with these Kyrie finishes, as on this play, Exum is putting the defense on their heels, so when Kyrie receives the ball, he can attack the closeout, carry over the traffic, and then with Keegan Murray contesting, Kyrie tosses it elegantly right over him. These fast break buckets for the Mavs translate directly into their half-court offense, as they all just continue to look for the best shot with their ball movement, and if someone is on a heater, they'll be sure to find them as well. The reason I say this is because it gives guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. the opportunity to get the switch on the way down, and for him, all it takes is a little bit of room to let it fly. Not only will he be used to grab the 3-point bucket, but when defenders are all bought in on Kyrie on the break and leave him open, they'll close out hard when the pass is made, so now Hardaway can zip right past him to go get an easy one inside. Hardaway is truly one of those guys that can get on a heater at any given moment, and when he does, it's like he's automatic. With that gravity of Kyrie, when the defense is deep in help coverage, this is just too much room for a shooter like Hardaway, and it's bombs away. But hey, not all the time is Hardaway going to be hoisting up shots, as if he can break down the defense, he can find Luka on the perimeter, so now Doncic can attack the defender closing out directly into a step back, and it's straight cash. The flow this team plays with is all due to them trusting one another, because when it seems like one guy has a good look and then another guy has a good look but they opt into one more pass, it shows you just how well they believe in the next man. Now I don't think I'm coming up here to say they're a ball movement heavy team, because that's certainly not it. With guys like Luka and Kyrie, they're going to initiate the offense and find guys off their gravity alone, but when this team does get into a zone, they'll move the ball flawlessly around the court to get the for-sure bucket. Like I said, they'll have these times where Luka is creating and then missing the shot, but then you'll also see them go from Maxey to Kyrie on the perimeter, sent back down to Luka, and then wrapped around the defender for the lively 2-hander. A lot of this movement is directly off Luka being able to attract multiple defenders, because now with the defense in rotation, Exum can attack the closeout of MPJ, and with Jokic having to step up, there's no way he's going to meet Lively in the air. With Luka being the most double player in the league, there's always going to be someone open who he will find, so with the defense having to shift multiple ways, the ball will find the open man for the connection. With Jokic and Murray on Luka, it leaves Gafford wide open in the middle of the floor, so now with the smaller MPJ on him, this makes Gordon sag in a little to help, but the thing is, Aaron Gordon has to split the difference between PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr., so once the ball is kicked out to PJ, he sends it down to the corner where now MPJ has a long closeout, and when you leave Jokic down low with elite leapers, it's a done deal. The ball movement can be great once they're in rhythm, but we all know that Luka Doncic is the head of the snake when it comes to setting up his teammates. With him having no weakness on the offensive end, it's going to be extremely tough for teams to draw up schemes to stop him, because in any way he wants, he can pick the defense apart. It's like he's playing a game of chess on the floor due to how well he can dictate his next move, and the defense is simply no match. He might show you one thing to make you look like a fool, and then when he blends his 3 into a zip down pass to Lively, it shows you that he's always 2 steps ahead of the defense. On this drive versus Utah, after it seems like Doncic is going to shoot this jumper on the step through, he instead sends it out to the corner as Colin Sexton gets too deep in help. Now Exum is drilling the 3. Don't bite, don't cheat, and don't be late, because if you bite on the up fake, it'll make you turn around. If you cheat on the play, you'll be out of position, and then if you have a gap to recover, you'll just be too late. With the Mavs structuring this team with perfect guys around each other, it allows for everyone to play off each other seamlessly, and when you have a master magician in Luka Doncic leading the unit, this is when things are highly effective. If you watch this play versus the Heat, when Luka comes off this screen, since Martin is behind him, it makes Bam shift over to be ready for the drive, so this makes Hockey slide over to stop the lob, and with Luka being able to see all of this, he blends his lob pass into a kick out to the corner for a Maxey 3-pointer. If you're a teammate of Luka's, all you have to do is be ready and make yourself available, because he's bound to find you. In the playoffs, this will be huge because you want to make life easier for everyone around you when the moment is tense, and Luka will do just that. With his nearly 10 assists per game, Luka will make you pay for any opening on the floor, so it's going to be a long night for opposing teams. But let's say even if it isn't Luka putting the defense on the slicing board, well, Kyrie is such a high alert player as well, so he's able to find his guys on the court if needed. He has quick decision making skills off these pick and rolls to thread it to Gafford before the double could get there. With his ability to collapse the defense at any time he wants, he can create these wide open looks from deep, and with his soft touch, he can put it on a platter for Lively to go eat. But hey, who are we kidding? Kyrie is arguably the most skilled NBA player that we have ever seen, so that's when his superb shooting, ball handling, and finishing skills come into play. Putting up 25 points a night on 49% shooting from the field and 40% from deep, there really isn't no other way to say it, as Kyrie is simply a walking bucket. With him and Luka both being a threat to score the ball, when Kyrie comes off this screen, Keegan Murray can't help all the way because of Luka, so that's where you see this lazy swipe at the ball, but Irving is too good for all of that and slithers right to the rack unbothered for the dunk. His ability to get past the defense looks effortless when he's out there on the floor, and with this simple yet very shifty misdirection jab step euro, he's able to shake defenders completely before floating it over the top. When it comes down to Irving creating for himself, there's honestly not much you can do, as from anywhere on the court he can be highly effective and constantly punish the defense. The playoffs is truly a walking playground for a player like Irving because non-stop he will stress test your defense. Say you backpedal just a little bit off these screens, well, it's easy money from deep. If he gets a side ISO'd out for him, well, even if it seems like he's stopped, Irving will find a way to the paint to still convert the bucket. And with only a little bit of space needed for the jumper, this rip-through jab cross breaks the defender, and now Irving is putting points on the board. With a multitude of ways to score the ball, don't be surprised when Irving hurts you without the ball as well. It can be these plays where Gafford comes out to the perimeter to get the ball, so now the rim protection is out the paint. With Maxey spread out to the 3, it pulls Markin out that paint too. So now when Irving receives the back screen from Tim Hardaway, he's wide open on the cut for the bucket inside. I know it may look simple, but when we break it down, there's more that goes into these plays. But hey, even if we do want to keep it at its simplest form, well, Irving can just bury himself in that corner, and then off the Luka creation, the money ball is underway. Only being 25 years old, Luka has done amazing things in his career. This could be an MVP season for him, and with Kyrie and a newly structured squad, he could see a ring come his way. The ability to make everyone around you better is not a skill set many players have, and when you tune into a Mavericks game, you can see the greatness of Luka on display. Some people like to talk and say he doesn't play winning basketball and that he's a second coming of James Harden and blah blah blah, but I'm not here to argue that. In my eyes, Luka is an amazing player who this team can lean on to take them to higher and higher levels. If you try and double him, well, it's nothing for him to just spin off the other way to go get the warm-up lay. When defenders try and run him off that 3 by going over the screen, all Luka has to do is slip back to the outside when the defender is trying to recover, giving him just enough room to sink the jumper. And with his nasty shot creation skills, he can give you a spin out the post up directly into a step back and drain the tough bucket. There's honestly not a thing Luka can't do on the floor, and nothing that the Dallas Mavericks can't overcome to protect Gotham City on the way to the NBA Finals.